following podcast contains mature language and adult discussion.
That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. Tranquility, do you read?
I got you, Neil.
Fuck, man. Nash running my video this week.
Fuck yeah.
It's only in the wide shot. You guys in my close-ups are going to see perfectly crisp video. Because I'm running local, thanks to Steve's solution. And a lot of people on YouTube telling me I'm a jabroni with my camera here. This is the Kliq This podcast. I'm Sean. This guy's Kevin. It is the Kevin Nash podcast. Another week. 12 in, if anyone's counting.
Is that 12 soft yet? Or?
12 hard. We are 12 hard. Yeah.
12 hard. Wow. That's manscapable.
Would have been enough. Would have been enough for the Ron for the film entries, the close-ups when they were shooting 35 millimeter. Every cock was glorious on 35 millimeter. There's a new shirt, by the way, no doubt. How are you this week, Kev?
I'm super groovy.
Where'd they send you this week? You're always going somewhere. Where were you this week?
This week I was home.
Okay, good.
That's why I don't have any hair product in.
And you're in a decidedly better mood. A little more awake.
Yeah. No, it's unbelievable how straining 4 or 5 days. Like next fucking week I'll be dead. I'm going to Salt Lake City. There's supposed to be 80,000 people in the convention center. And I already asked, like, my photo ops on Thursday how many I have, and I went, holy shit. Like, okay.
So you're doing 4 days of...
No, I'm doing Thursday, Friday, Saturday, but I'm in Salt Lake, and then Saturday, of course, is the mega day. They shut Salt Lake City down on Sunday, so I'll be taking a 7 a.m. flight.
Oh,
I'll probably be out. I'll probably walk right on that bitch because I know Salt Lake City don't shut down.
Yeah.
Good luck getting a drink past midnight on Saturday.
Oh, really?
Oh, I remember one of the first times Scott and I we were saying like this gentleman villain guy was trying to fuck with us, and
he's on Mars. It's our Tranquility's transmission is being intercepted by Steve Regal, William Regal.
Good guy. But so it's we're staying at like a Marriott or whatever the hotel is, and the lady walks over to us and she said, "Gentlemen, it's last call." So we look at each other and Scott says, "Give me 6 Miller Lights." I said, "Yeah, give me 6 Miller Lights." She goes, "No, you can only have one, and you can't have that until you finish the one in front of you." I said,
"Really?"
So you're like, this is like a real last fucking call. Like, wow, like I wish we didn't known this because we could have like now there's no, we can't get back up. It's just like, whoa. We didn't get a roll on. It was just like oh, okay. And that's where I'm sending myself there just to fucking punish myself.
Sam Kinison. I remember a story about Sam, notorious partier. Okay. Party never ended with Sam. He's in some city, might have been Salt Lake, and the town is dry. After his show, he goes to the hotel. You can't get any booze in the city. So it just shows you addiction is necessity is the mother of invention. Addiction's the mother of invention. What does a Sam Kinison do? He orders 10 limousines. What does every limousine have in it? A bar. Him and the whole crew. It was enough for everyone. They didn't even go anywhere. They didn't leave. The limos pulled up. They took all the booze out of it.
When I was in college, we used to play Mississippi State, which was in Starkville. And you had to go to this place called the Crossroads, like off way out of town. It was called the Crossroads to get your beer. And I remember that we never partied with any other team on the road, but when we always hung out with the Mississippi State guys. And I remember one time, man, we were all sitting in a room at a Holiday Inn in Starkville next to a Waffle House. One of the first Waffle Houses I'd seen in my life. And we're just sitting there just smoking blunts with the guys that we just beat, and with the bathtub full of beer with ice on it, and just, I mean, adjoining rooms, probably 20 guys just, and one of the guys, like, he was a hell of a ball player. He played in the pros, named Ricky Brown, 6'11" guy. I remember I was just like, me and him were just sitting there passing one back and forth. I covered him, he covered me, and just chilling. I was just thinking, like, this has got to be how it is when you play pro ball, right? You gotta be able to just chill with those guys a little bit. They're we were on a Big Orange Air. It was a DC-8 double propeller. That's what we flew from town to town. So.
Yeah, these guys like Barkley and shit, when they were done with the games, work was done.
Yeah,
they didn't carry the grudge on the court, off the court. Those guys chilled.
The only place that it carries on afterwards is just in our industry. I mean, you just can't. I mean, I'm quite sure right now Theory's just is not over Monday night. He's just not.
Well, our fans are not over last Monday night. Great feedback, as always. I mean, mixture, because there's always, people are critical sometimes. But Darth Muto says, another great podcast from these two. Wish I could start every morning off with a new Kliq This cast. Do you think we could do a daily morning somewhere? If there's any program director listening to...
Morning? Fuck, no.
Not you, no. Unless we recorded it at 2 a.m. the night before.
Oh yeah, we could. I could. I watch Morning Joe and go to bed. So I mean, I could do a 6 a.m. I'm sure.
What was the big station in Detroit? Was it WWWW? Was it W4?
The rock and roll one.
Yeah.
It was when I was really young, and then it went country. But Arthur Penhollow was on WRIF, which was 101. And
okay,
he was the guy that, hey, baby, this is Arthur P. WRIF, the riff.
That's where Stern started, right? Detroit?
I don't know.
I think his first gig was Detroit. No, Hartford. Hartford first, then Detroit.
Yeah.
Then
I think that he had a summer of 92 in Detroit. Stern did.
I know he doesn't remember Detroit fondly. I think they put him up in like a motel when he first got there, and
they
like
probably
shootings outside.
They probably gave him one of those square fucking pizzas and told him it was Detroit style.
Which brings me to the second. Kevin, we stumbled into PIZZAGATE somehow. This fucking thing has gotten more traction. I mean, is this the best we can debate on Twitter and YouTube and everywhere? The comments about the Detroit-style pizza and specific locations, like A Human sent us, Buddy's Pizza has been around since the 40s and has locations all over the Detroit area. It does. It's not some, quote, hole in the wall that no one has ever heard of. If you haven't heard of Louie's, since they only have one location in Hazel Park, I get it. I don't know. I'm not from Detroit.
But you have to realize I went to fucking college in 1977. Okay? I did. That's it. So if it's after 1977, I guess I said the other day on a tweet, I'm like, there was fucking Lewis Hatter and fucking I would go to downtown Detroit, and the Black Panthers would be on the corner selling the Black Panther news. I mean, so I'm quite sure my experience and my socialization in Detroit was a little different than some fucking guy that's been there 9 years. You know, it's like,
Was the Panther News square?
it was round. So it was actually round.
See, fucking, that's not a Detroit newspaper then.
Yeah.
Mark, I always love fan art when fans take some time, you know, to do something. So Mark did this.
Yeah, I saw that.
This cool artwork incorporating both the jackknife ad and the Kliq This podcast on the apron.
Yeah, did a nice job on the tattoo, on the dragon tattoo.
Oh yeah, the tat. Look at that, right?
Yeah. And see, right. And he actually caught, because when I was holding, I was making the Kliq sign, and he actually caught that on the fucking deal. And, you know, he
is that true? You were doing the Wolf pack?
I was doing the fucking I was doing the Kliq sign.
Excellent. Yeah. Well done, Mark.
Because nobody owns a Kliq sign. That's the Kliq. I love when people go, "Hey, do the too sweet." Like, it isn't too sweet, motherfucker.
Well, it's the wolf ears and the
but it's the
wolf head.
No, it's the Kliq. It's a Turkish wolf. It's the sign of the Kliq.
Wolf, right? Okay.
Okay, it's like you're over there fucking arguing with me about fucking Detroit pizza. God damn it, man! That's the Kliq sign. You know, anybody else that did it after that, they can call whatever the fuck they want.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? But this is the one from fucking 8 Mile.
In 2013, Little Caesars incorporated it on the box.
Yeah.
Hell says, well, I'm certainly not looking at Christmas trees the same way again. Any chance of live shows soon might travel over the pond if the timing's right. Yeah, we got to get all that worked out, of course. He's making reference to your reference to manscaping one's crotch to add some measurable size to one's appendage, and you likened it to shaving down when you get the real Christmas tree, right? And
with the small,
they saw the bottom to elongate the trunk.
Yeah, but they use the small fucking chainsaw, like the world's smallest chainsaw. It's whatever the smallest one, trimming, pruning chainsaw, if you
right. Yeah. Don't use that on your crotch. Use the Manscaped gimmick.
Yeah, but you can go ahead and you can cut that fucking pizza from Buddy's with it at all locations. Then when you get done with that,
did you know Louis? He mentioned a Louis.
Fuck no.
No. Louis in, so everyone can go if it's still there. Hazel Park.
Oh, maybe while we're there, why don't we go to the old Hazel Park Raceway? Go to DeQuinder and watch the fucking trotters. Oh, wait, that doesn't exist either. Let's go see the old fucking stove down by the river. Oh, no, wait, that's gone too. So let's have a Stroh's. Oh, fuck, wait, they don't make Stroh's in Detroit anymore.
Is Stroh's gone?
What's that? We did have Stroh's. My son said we had Stroh's and say I think it's done by that H.G. Heidelman or whatever the name of that brewery is that picked up every fucking Blatz and every other fucking
Peels.
Yeah, every beer that was Colt 45, everything.
Nom Nom Jaws Mom says when Nash said, "What a bunch of shit" at about the 10:56 mark, it was the most grizzled veteran wrestler I think I've ever heard him sound. Definitely channeling Harley lacing his boots with a 3-foot ash on his cigarette. I'm going to have to find that clip.
Yeah, I don't remember it.
What a bunch of shit.
Well, that's it. I'm telling you you got a tweet today from Damien.
Yes, the wrestler, the independent wrestler, Damien Darling. I didn't see the original tweet. But he texted me and said that it was pizza related,
sent
and it
me
got a
something,
block. It got a block from you.
Yeah, and he sent me something. He said, I'm allowed to talk about these things, but let Sean talk about this, because everybody knows that motherfucker is so fucking urban. And
pizza.
But he's talking Detroit pizza. That motherfucker ain't never been to Detroit properly. So he puts the pieces. This is a picture from 1990 of a Little Caesars pizza ad. I didn't say they never made a fucking square pizza, you fucking asshole. I said they didn't call it Detroit pizza. They didn't call Little Caesars. Google it, motherfuckers. Little Caesars didn't use the term Detroit pizza till 2013. Google it. Period. I mean,
Too much heat.
I
making
can't
me
take it. I can't take. It's like, get the fuck off my lawn.
It's dividing former friends, you and Damien now, over the pizza.
No, I just when you know what? I'm at a point in my life when if somebody thinks that's funny, obviously they don't know me, and if they don't know me, obviously they don't need to be a part of my life. Goodbye.
In many ways, the block button was a long time coming, wasn't it? Don't you kind of wish you had a block button like in high school?
I remember when I used to argue with people. You know? Nash, you have CTE, block. I don't have CTE. I've had my brain scanned. I don't have it. I wish I did. I wish I had a reason I said fuck every third word. I don't. I just do. You know? That's just my life, okay? But this is the whole thing, see, because nobody's been a pro wrestler except a very few of us. And this is what it sounds like in the back when you put a match together. All right, man, right there, man. I'm thinking, man, boom, 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 fucking you, duck, bam, boom, fuck, boom, boom. I give you fucking a ass bump there. You go in the ropes, fucking come off, fucking right there, bam. I cut you.
Sounds like the script of a gay porn, actually. Boom, boom, give me the ass, boom, 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 fuck, boom.
It might to you because you're not one of the boys.
Exactly.
See? So that's why I would have to block you.
That's I don't give a fuck what you called your pizza in Detroit. Cindy, every time Kevin Nash goes off on Gnarly Toes, I laugh because an old army buddy of his told me Kevin always checked out a girl's feet if he could, even back then. The guy's name was Franz. I can't recall the last name.
Fezzle. We actually we haven't spoken, but we're in contact now. So Franz and I go to basic training together, and like the first or second day there, I get a bunch of guys together, and we put our gas masks on, and we go down the fire escape, and fucking with towels and soap, fucking potato a couple of fucking guys from the unit below us. We were Bravo, so they must have been Charlie unit. So they fucking pull us out. One of the guys grabbed one of the guys' gas masks and tore it. So fucking, everybody had to pull their gas mask out, put it on. This guy put the fucking gas mask on, and he's standing there with fucking half of it torn, and the fucking company commander comes over and he's screaming at him, and he won't give up whose idea this was. And I said, sir, it was me. And man, all of a sudden, all the drill sergeants are on me with it. The thing was, I was so tall, like the brims of their hats are right here, and they were screaming at me. And I was like on a small painter's ladder. Like, what? Like, no, you're not in my face. You can't get in my face. So I gotten some heat, and I used to cause shit in basic training just so I could do push-ups. So I'd be so bored standing.
Were you a discipline problem?
No. They actually, when it came down to it, they liked the fact that I was like I had leadership qualities. I could get the guys second night to fucking band together and go down and cause some shit. But so I talked Franz into going with, like, we get into Germany together. And they say, we need some guys for physical security. And I look over at Franz and said, hey, buddy, man, you want to go do this? So I talked him into being a tower rat with me. So, but he was a wrestler. Like, we lifted together. He was a He was a good dude.
No, but he has knowledge that the first thing you checked out was a woman's feet if they were visible.
Yeah,
That's right.
yeah, because that's, man.
Gnarly Toes. Not a deal breaker, though, right?
Oh, no. But I mean, it's like anything else. You go from, top to bottom, bottom top.
Mm-hmm. Very good. Thank you, Franz.
Face is the most important thing to me. Girls got to be pretty.
Mm.
I don't
So you
care-
don't
I
believe
care-
in like the whole double bagger deal?
No.
Okay.
Because the one thing is, like, I'm going to quote Scott on this again, as Scott would see some young girl and she'd be swishing her shit in front of us.
Mm-hmm.
And Scott would say, yeah, you're fine. Then again, who isn't at 21? Like, let's see you in 15, babe.
Right.
And that's the whole thing. Like, bodies leave, everything leaves, but a face. Yeah. If a girl's pretty, she's probably going to stay pretty.
Right. No matter what that say, you look at a set of tits that'll knock you out, right? But you tilt your head up and you realize it's Abdullah. It's Abby.
We can't talk. I mean, we got heat for bringing up Abby. I didn't realize he passed hepatitis like throughout the industry. I didn't realize he was like I didn't realize we were Dustin Hoffman and he was the host.
Well, we could certainly talk about him, but yeah, I guess he had knowledge that he had it, and then was blading in the ring, and I believe
and blading people with his blade,
with his gig. That's bad. That's bad. Ethan Hammond, please thank Kevin for the tremendous lesson in male grooming and Christmas tree preparation. So apparently you educated some people last week. This is not to be taken for granted that every guy knows how to wield a trimmer. But you guys always had your bodies on television, so you were always aware of hair, too much growth. I mean, you didn't have your balls on TV. That I know of. I haven't seen all of your matches. Maybe under Russo, he had some shit booked for you.
At the same time, though, man, you definitely had somebody putting you in leg scissors.
Mm-hmm.
You definitely would. I mean, nobody likes funk.
No.
I mean, there's nothing worse than getting in an elevator and there's a person sitting next to you in the elevator, and all of a sudden they walk in, and the elevator immediately turns to fucking the odor of boiling hot dog water. It's like
a little bit of boiled cabbage there.
Yeah. It's like that's what Scott used to call that beefing. Jesus, man, that bitch's box beefing.
We just do a Scott dictionary maybe for everybody that wants to walk around talking like the bad guy. Meat gazing, beefing.
Beefing was a huge Scott thing. Dude, man, fucking turn the air down. I'm beefing like a motherfucker over here.
Well, it leads us to Tom Talker 2000, and he says, I think straight men learned from us gay men that you need to keep your plumbing clean. I've got enough women friends who tell me they're not happy with the rainforest their lovers grow below. And honestly, I can't blame them. Another great podcast, Kevin. Topics galore as usual. Keep up the great work.
Thank you, my man.
Kevin, a hero in all communities. Someone who maybe wanted to make sure that they were manscaped properly might have been this next individual named Andrew Frey. Had a little dust up with the police, apparently. A sizable number of police officers. 15, I think is what I'm reading here. And this is legit. Kevin sent this to me. Originally saw it on
Joe Rogan's Instagram.
Right. But you never know. Is somebody like photoshopping something? Is it a gimmick?
Well, he even said that when this came up, Rogan put out, it goes, like, I don't know if this is if this is for real or not. So Rogan didn't. He just put it up. I'm sure he saw it. And I mean, I laughed my ass off when I saw it. So I immediately took a shot of it and sent it to you. Said, we got to slip this guy in for our end of year awards.
Yeah, he's definitely. We're gonna need to do some kind of end of year awards, and this guy's
this is gonna
up
be
for
this is
it.
gonna be hard to beat.
Here he is, and folks, the headline is, if you can, Steve, if you could scroll down a little bit, just so I can get the headline above Mr. Frey's head. Man high on meth fights off 15 police officers while masturbating.
Well, I mean, fucking, you know what? Golf clap. That motherfucker. I didn't realize it was theory till now. No wonder he's got that fucking briefcase.
He's over with you now, huh?
Oh, fuck yeah. They keep saying, like, the thing last, I watched the show and it's like, he's the youngest ever to possess the money in the bank briefcase. Who gives a fuck? It's like saying he's the youngest person ever to have a fucking box of Magnum condoms. Well, so it doesn't matter unless you use one, you motherfucker. What is it? You got a green thing that kids walking around in 6th grade and hit each other with?
I was going to say, if he was 8, it would be noteworthy to be the youngest one ever to win the
what is
money
the guy?
in the bank.
20-something? How old is a kid? There he is. That is the same. Put a goatee on another cat. Where's he at?
Goddamn, right?
Come
Holy
on.
fuck.
Fucking man. No wonder he's got money. And that's why he's got the money in the bank.
Paul, change the gimmick. Change the gimmick. Here, we're giving you the gimmick. Give Theory the a one-handed finisher. So Andrew Frey makes a series of outbursts, then begins masturbating in an Oregon restaurant. Incredibly, police were reportedly unable to subdue Frey with a taser. It took 15 officers to finally take him into custody and stop him from pleasuring himself. Frey later told authorities he took methamphetamine and couldn't remember the obscene incident. Holy Christ.
I wonder if it was like that deal when you used to fucking play sandlot baseball and you'd throw the bat, you'd catch it, then you'd fucking, do the fucking gimmick, then you do bottle caps. Okay, you guys take the field. I wonder if he had like a fucking giant hog and they fucking.
And each of the cops were
fucking working, trying to fucking get it under control.
Right.
Maybe he was just fucking tickling his balls and throwing fucking lefts.
Well, he would have to. He was throwing one-handed shots at 15 officers.
I wonder if it was chops. Because those are, I mean, if you're going to fucking fight off 15 dudes, I'm throwing chops.
Always a go-to in the street fight. How about the forward open hand slap chop maybe across the chest?
It doesn't. It's gotta be that knife edge.
Yeah.
That fucking knife edge chop.
Vicious. Oh Christ. Well, it's on a more serious note, in crime news, I guess. Eva LaRue, the actress from CSI, a case was just settled after an arrest a few years ago. She's an actress on CSI Miami. She begins getting threatening letters in 2007 to her home. The unknown sender is calling himself Freddy Krueger, vows to rape and kill her. She's got a young daughter at the time. He starts referencing her in the letters. More than a dozen of them keep coming for more than 3 dozen over 12 years. She moves, she buys her new property under a corporate name. He still finds it somehow. Her daughter was 5 when she begins being referenced in these letters. And then he starts addressing them to her, the daughter. So they finally find him. Okay, they use DNA.
But she goes on the down low, doesn't get mail, like moves, never takes the same route home, and this guy finds her again and continues sending it. Because you sent me that, and I read it. Go ahead. I don't want to cut you off, but
no.
I mean,
it's for discussion.
The guy gets 40 months.
That's what I couldn't believe. That's the only penalty that yielded.
See,
3
that's
years,
basically. That's when I become a Saudi Arabian right there.
You go into business for yourself.
Yeah, you get 40 fucking months, and if you're right-handed, you become left-handed.
Right.
I chop your fucking hand off, you motherfucker, you sick fuck.
Her and her little daughter get tortured for 12 years, and
the payoff is 40.
It's 3. It's 3 years. Yeah.
Yeah, and he'll do fucking 19.
Right.
19 months. Unless fucking we could, hopefully that somebody that's got some pull in the correction facility passes the word around to the inmates what a fucking piece of shit this motherfucker is.
Yeah, these guys tend not to fare well, especially if they're threatening 5-year-old girls. A lot of these guys doing time have children at home.
I wonder what the over-under on Dahmer being sodomized to death was when he went in the fucking the joint.
Yeah. Well, I'd give this guy about the same odds.
Yeah.
Hopefully. But what I wanted to ask you was...
couldn't say it better without myself.
In the public eye, you have to... There's almost no way today to avoid some of this harassment. I mean, sometimes it's in person. As a wrestler, you must have gotten the whole, oh, yeah, what are you tough? Well, I know, you're 9 feet tall. Maybe you didn't get it, but Chris Candido probably got it. But in addition to that, you've got mentally ill people out there. Like, what's his name was just denied parole again for shooting Lennon, right? And
he's the guy that shot at Ford. No, not Ford. That was
Reagan.
Reagan.
That's it.
He's out, right? One of those fuckers is out.
And put out an album. I was listening to him singing.
Who is which one? We got to make. We don't want to be giving false information here, but which one of those freaks?
Okay, so it was
it Chapman?
Hinkle. Mark David Chapman was the Lennon,
right?
And
Hinckley was the Reagan. I want to make sure.
Who shot Brady in the head?
Right. Brady got hit. That gave birth to the
Brady
Law.
Right.
I want to see when he got out. Mark David Chapman. Mark David Chapman, right, was Lennon, and Hinckley was Reagan. Let's see if I can get a release here. Okay, in 2016, a federal judge ruled that Hinckley could be released from psychiatric care as he was no longer considered a threat. After 2020, a ruling was issued that Hinckley may showcase his artwork, writings, and music publicly under his own name rather than anonymously as he had in the past. Since then, he maintained a YouTube channel for his music. His restrictions were unconditionally lifted in June 2022. Okay, so that's why I heard about this year. So he's now allowed to publicly perform on YouTube. So this is Hinckley. This is the.
I wonder if he follows Jodie Foster on Twitter.
Oh God, chilling. So now I want to ask you about yourself. Does being a big, imposing, strapping professional athlete prevent this kind of harassment?
No, all it does is fucking make it ups the ante. If you're a demure female, then it takes a lot less to intimidate. Where somebody like me, I mean,
so they go a little harder. You're saying?
Yeah, I'm saying if somebody decides that they're going to fuck with me, I mean, if I walk out of the gym and somebody's walking up the street towards me and they just decide I'm sitting at a table, there's no metal detectors at that convention. If somebody stands across me and wants to fucking empty a 5-shot Smith & Wesson 38 in my head, I'm dead.
Have you gotten like letters and shit from women that say that you're talking to them through the TV and your 11 soft has their name on it? No. All right.
I think I'm so fucking psychotic that I think that people know I'll just one up them.
You give off psycho vibes. That's
I
the
do.
key.
Yeah, I do. I'm
the key.
psychotic. Like they know that. Like I'd be the guy like in Seven, you know.
The Spacey character.
I'd send your wife's head to you
in a box.
Yeah.
The
or your husband's.
Right.
I mean, I'm not. Okay, no. Don't want to leave anybody out there. I don't want to leave anybody out there thinking that.
Exactly. Serve us all.
Absolutely.
But along different lines, we were talking, Kevin, you and I, about we started by talking about Bill Maher, the Bill Maher show.
Right.
And we got to talking about the change in political discourse and what the function that politics has in societal life.
Right.
And you actually turned me on to a writer, John Meacham, right?
Yeah, one of my favorites.
And the quote that I had was, and it's relevant because we do talk politics here on this show, and when we do, it's funny. I read comments and people are surprised that like we have like opinions on both sides of the spectrum sometimes, and I'm surprised that not more people do, and I'm a little terrified that people subscribe to one doctrine.
Can I say something? Can I say something on that?
It's your show. You could say anything.
So before we go into this, because I know where this is going to lead, because we actually, we talked about this, and I thought Meacham was brilliant on the show. But so today, before I came over here, I was just watching the news, and the masturbator that's in charge of this Trump situation,
the special masturbator,
the special masturbator, he was basically wanted to, like, the Trump legal team said that the President Trump had declassified this information, and he basically said, well, that's great, but you guys are going to have to prove it, and none of them kind of would stick their neck out, and they weren't going to perjure themselves, and it got into, and it went back and forth, and then so they've got a Republican and a Democrat that they're talking to, whoever I think it was, I forget who the host was, but and they were both in this back and forth, and then the Democrat guy said, yeah, but you know what, whether he did or he didn't, it doesn't change this and it doesn't change that. And they like, this thing was such a fucking like powder keg when it went off, like I remember waking up and, and seeing that they had, stormed his Mar-a-Lago and all this other shit. It's now at the point where when it comes on, when this shit about this classified papers come up to me on the news, I'm like, hey, buzz me when it's fucking newsworthy, not when it's just some talking point to try to keep, like, it's went nowhere.
They're still in the chin lock.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like, fuck, man. Like, I don't get it. Like, we said earlier, when that thing first happened, I said, if this isn't fucking rock solid, the Democrats are fucked.
Yeah.
And I like when this is another one I love too, when people say, why do you hate Donald Trump? And I'm just like, I don't know, Donald. I don't know. I mean, I don't have enough real estate in my brain to hate people. I just don't. Like, I don't get, like, people say, oh, he lives rent free in your brain. No, he doesn't. Dude, you're not in my head. There's so many times I'm like Patrick on fucking SpongeBob. I'm just like, not thinking about shit, man. Like fuck no.
But I just want to hit that the Meacham quote, because it was perfect. He talked about, he said that he I guess referenced what was going on in the last administration as a return to the 30s, right? Clearly referencing dictatorship and maybe echoes of Hitler and whatnot. And he said, actually, as this has played out, it's more like the 1850s.
Yeah.
And the quote was, he said, politics is supposed to be a mediation of differences to arrive at a solution. But now it's culture warfare. That term, culture warfare, Kev.
Well, okay, so I did a little bit of research, and I was a sociology major, was one of, and I have not read James Davison Hunter's Culture War book, but I guess it's kind of the Bible on the culture war. And it was basically saying that, like, usually, well, there's a couple of things that were frightening is you can't have a culture war. I mean, you can't have like a violent confrontation where people are shooting. Like that doesn't happen unless you have culture war, which we definitely have a culture war. And it's usually by religion, ethnicity, social class, political affiliation. But now it's about, like everything that is based now is by ideology and worldviews. And the one thing
Exactly.
the one thing that Meacham said in that when he was on the show was, and he made reference to the fact of love your neighbor. He said, "Why? Why do I have to love my neighbor? Why do I have to fucking give in? I don't like that." It's just like, if some of us don't give a little, man, this shit ain't ever gonna get fixed.
It's personal inconvenience has trumped all, no pun intended.
Yeah,
One's personal inconvenience and one's deviation from one's own personal manifesto. Like there was a time in my life, and I'm younger than you, where two people on opposite ends of the political spectrum could have a cogent, intelligent debate. It could be an exchange of ideas. And the rule of politics and checks and balances and a Senate and a House and all that stuff was because disparate ideas would have to funnel into one area, and then what would come out would be the meted out compromise, and law or whatever's being debated would come out as a result of that. Now it gets hacked apart. And it's this mess of chopped detritus. Nothing, I feel, comes out of Washington as a pared down, maybe compromised, but something that both sides had a part of.
Well, I think that if you look back historically and you go to say 1960, and that's kind of your kickoff point. And that was kind of that 30 years from 60 to 90, you had civil rights, you had women's rights, you had so many. I mean, it was abortion rights were huge. Basically, the kids on campus were one of the major factors that got the Vietnam War stopped. So from that you go into the sexual revolution, gay marriage, gay equalities for I mean, and as you do that, you and at the same time after World War II, people are now going to college, so higher education now becomes the easiest way for people to become upper middle class. So as that progresses, and that like 60 is where it starts, then all of a sudden the ideology of the higher of those with the higher education becomes more science based, less theologian, less, and the
But some of it's seen as radical, like in the 60s, right? I mean, these thoughts were first introduced, the 60s was the era of the radicalization, but the radicalization of the 60s becomes like the normalization of the 70s.
And the normalization of the 70s was that the left was seen as the intellectual and the right was seen as the societal. The left was taking things up one way, and the right was like, no, the family's breaking down. And then you go to Clinton and that era, and women are fighting, are in the wars fighting. There's so many, like, abortion is on demand. Like, all these things are changing. I remember, I think it was 90. I'm saying that 92, and Pat Buchanan. I think that was 92 when he ran.
Yeah, it was the first. It was the first. Clinton won. Clinton's first term,
and it was. I think he ran against Old Man Bush, and
he did.
And he ended up like separatizing the Republican vote so Clinton could get reelected. Even though I know that Clinton lost the Congress in '94. Then, so from there we go forward and we go into the Tea Party, and we then and that extreme right that Palin and that came, and then they were defeated, and we went into to the Barack, and then from there we came out, and like it became a situation of, Obama, Trump wanted to change all the norms again. And instead of there being, it became ideology.
Yeah, and if you consider the fact, and this is a Meacham thing also, if you consider the fact that civil rights, I mean, as a black man or woman in America, if you're using like 1965 maybe as the dividing line, right? And the popular cry in the last few years was, go back to the way it used to be, the way it was. Well, 1965 was, almost 60 years ago. When are we talking about going back to exactly? Because these the radicalization of the 60s they were civil rights issues. So are we talking about going back before that, or are we talking about going back 20 years ago?
There wasn't a black football player at the University of Mississippi at Ole Miss until 1972. Wow. 1972. 5 years later, my Detroit ass is walking around this campus, and I'm walking in Oxford, Mississippi, and black couples are coming towards me, and they're walking across the street because they won't pass me. They're walking across the street. I don't have a clue why.
What year is this?
1977.
Wow.
George Wallace ran. When did he run? Wallace.
72? Was it?
Didn't he win 5 states?
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. Give you a guess where the states were.
We just got rid of their Confederate flags this last run around.
Well,
no, I just look at things and I say, wow, man, like I really thought that things would get better in life, and I really thought that like having a black president would change things, and I think that we're racially as divided as we were in '67 when I watched Detroit burn down, if not more so.
Yeah,
because,
I did kind of think we were out of it in under Obama.
I knew we weren't. I knew we weren't in Florida when every time I put an Obama sign up in front of my house, it would go up missing. And then finally, I put a bumper sticker on the back of my Mustang, and somebody stuck like a killing knife through my bumper and left it there. And I thought, wow, man.
Wow. 68 was George Wallace. I'm sorry. Not
was it 68? Yeah.
68.
So 68 was when everything went down. Martin Luther King was killed. Bobby Kennedy was shot in 68. My dad died in 68. 68 was a fucked up year.
Fuck yeah.
I got nothing. I got nothing good to say about 68. Except the Tigers won.
All right, so you took something from it.
Hey.
Let me tell you.
68 Tigers, man. That saved, probably saved me from more post-traumatic stress than I deserved. You know, that's the whole thing. Like the day my dad died, it was one of those deals where like you went to school and you had your little Billy Blastoff, your little spaceman, and I'd always hide a couple soldiers on my desk, and it was, it was just I was so innocent, and all of a sudden it was just like the city was burning again, and me and my brother were kind of the men of the house, and it was just like I just sat back at the first day the first night that my dad was laid out. I remember walking into the funeral home, and he was in a larger there was like 2 rooms, and he was in the larger of the 2 because they knew he had a lot of people that were underneath him at work. And I remember walking in and seeing the outline of my dad's face, like from probably, I don't know, maybe 70, 80 feet, and just seeing the outline of my dad's face, in this casket. I remember running down there with my brother, and we got up on the casket. And I remember like bending over on the casket and putting my hands on my dad's chest. He was ice cold, and I could feel, that V where they do the
incision,
the autopsy. Yeah, and it was just, man, it was like they fucking used baling wire or something to put him back together. And I just remember just saying to myself, like, and by the time that week was over, I mean, I went to school. I had a fucking 3-inch ash on the end of my fucking cigarette. I was like,
you fucking dick.
Fuck, man. This fucking shit ain't what it's got out to be.
I heard Bruce Springsteen talking about, he was talking to a friend of his about having kids in a world of privilege, being famous and rich and well-to-do and safe areas and all that stuff. And he was talking to his friend, and he said, man, maybe we just shouldn't give him as much as we do. And he said that his friend struck a nerve when he said, no. You give your kids everything, because the world's going to have a way of evening it out. So you make sure your part of it is that you gave them everything.
Absolutely.
I think there's something to that. And boy, guys, if you thought you had a difficult job, whatever you do out there, you try and go from a heartfelt discussion like that to discussing what Bluechew would do for your cock, because that's the job that I'm tasked with.
But you know what?
Very moment.
If there's anything that's more fucking awakening, I mean, you're talking about the new thing is taking the ice baths. Wake up, we don't have this problem right now, but wake up and have your shit not work, huh?
Problem.
You might as well be fucking dead.
Lay me out.
If you can't get into some fucking puss and do a little fucking woochie doochie, or an anus, whatever the fuck
whatever you're into.
Whatever you're into. I'm not.
Gerbil.
Exactly.
Guys, this is why you love this show, guys. Don't even fucking pretend out there, okay?
Do your fucking spiel, because I love Bluechew.
Love me some Bluechew. The stiff one of the week is upon us, and it is brought to us by our friends at Bluechew. It's all about confidence. It doesn't have to be about dysfunction. It doesn't have to be a medical issue. It's confidence. If you just want that confidence that you're going to be able to perform in the bedroom or the shower or wherever life takes you, Bluechew can help you. Bluechew is a unique online service. It delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, but in chewable tablets and at a fraction of the cost. Take them anytime, day or night. You can plan ahead or be ready whenever the opportunity arises. The process is simple. Sign up at BlueChew.com, consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and once you're approved, you'll receive your prescription within days. The best part, all online, guys. Talk to someone online, get your prescription online, no doctor's office, no pharmacy. shipped to your house. Okay, Bluechew's tablets are made in the USA, prepared and shipped direct to your door in discreet packaging. So if you can benefit from just that little extra confidence, that little boost, that little insurance, then Bluechew can help. We got a special deal for our listeners. As always, Kevin's looking out for you. And he'd like you to try Bluechew for free when you use our promo code NASH at checkout. Just pay $5 for shipping. That's Bluechew.com, promo code NASH to receive your first month free. Visit Bluechew.com for more details and important safety information. And we thank Bluechew for sponsoring the Stiff One of the Week. This brings us to Tatanka. You remember Tatanka, right?
Yes.
All right. Well, here's
undefeated. The Native American. It was his claim to fame was he was undefeated, and he lost to Ludwig Borga.
I remember Ludwig Borga. Well, here's Tatanka wasn't so hot on the Kliq and HBK. So let's listen to Tatanka.
And yes, Sean has changed, but back in the day, being brand new, I really didn't know about all the diplomacy that truly happens behind the closed doors. So the plans were for me to have the belt, but Sean went around with his posse at that time, and I'll leave it at that because you know who that was, and they were spreading rumors that I was getting a bad attitude, and ever how that was done. But there's one thing that the office, like they do today, they want to make sure that you have the right kind of attitude, so when you move into that position that you can do business when you have that belt. So Sean knew that if I got my hand on that belt with that undefeated streak and everything that was going on, I'd have had that belt for a while. So these are the true facts, because this is who it came from, the two names I just told you. Because they knew the sting would be out of it, and I wouldn't go chase Shawn Michaels, down in the locker room going, I can't believe you. But that's the facts. That's actually what happened. So it was actually for me to win the belt at WrestleMania, but things got turned around because of hearsay.
You recall any of this? Was Tatanka getting the strap?
Yeah, I have to say something immediately, because every time if I babble or say anything, I always thought he had a great attitude. I didn't understand why Ludwig Borga beat him, but I don't remember. Number one, it's like I didn't get the fucking belt because they were saying I was a pyromaniac. Well, were you lighting fucking fires? No. So if we went to fucking, who we went to? We went to Vince and said he's got a bad attitude. Oh,
I guess.
Well, then, by God, let's fucking beat him. That's all I need to hear. Fucking Razor and fucking Sean. Anybody else you want to beat? Let's fucking beat everybody.
Well, let's say that. Were you in a position of power? Now, in all fairness, he doesn't mention your name in this. Okay, he mentions Sean, and I guess alludes to Scott. But
I don't. Yeah, I don't think that I think I get a lot of fucking Sean's heat by fucking proxy.
I think you're right. Sean,
when did Sean go to a WrestleMania? So WrestleMania 10 was for the double IC belts. WrestleMania 11 was Sean versus me. WrestleMania 12 was Sean. What WrestleMania was he supposed to get the IC belt?
I'd have to find the year that the streak was happening.
It would have had to. It had to have been 10 or 11. Sean didn't have it. Sean wrestled me at 11. He wrestled Scott at 10. Mm-hmm. So once again, it's like Brett saying what he said, and it's just like I didn't want to go into it. But when I've thought about it, just like, wait a minute. So he's saying that so-and-so would work with Hunter. Well, Hunter didn't come in until the Rumble in 95.
Right.
I was already the world champion. So why would we need anybody to run the Kliq? And we didn't call ourselves the Kliq. The locker room called us the Kliq. It's like everybody has a different opinion. It's like, that ain't what that. So I just say to Tatanka, and I like Chris. It's just like, win. When were you supposed to win it at WrestleMania? Were you supposed to win it from Shawn when he didn't have it? Because you're saying it was Shawn that fucking held it up.
Now, all right, I'm looking at my notes here. So Tatanka fought him at 9, at WrestleMania 9. But Shawn was the IC champ?
No. Shawn was the IC champ. I mean, I helped Shawn win the IC champ from I don't know when he had it first, but I'm just saying, sure as fuck wasn't when I was there.
So the belt.
So can somebody see a fucking?
I got it here. I got it.
Tatanka, WrestleMania 9 was the belt up?
Yes, it was. It was for the IC, and it was a count out. So Tatanka defeats Michaels with Luna in his. So Sherry's in Tatanka's corner. Luna is in Michael's corner.
There is no Kliq.
Count out.
There is no Kliq at WrestleMania fucking 9. So how am I getting drug into this shit? And how is he the fucking stiff one? How's he on my fucking show being the stiff one when I wasn't even in the fucking territory?
Well, he's going stiff on Shawn and the Kliq.
But there is.
I said
no
he didn't
Kliq.
say your name. I said he didn't
There's
say
no
your.
Kliq.
He called. What did he call them? The posse. He said. But I'm assuming he's trying to reference. I'm not saying he's right. I'm saying
I wasn't there. Sean Waltman wasn't there.
So who's the
Triple
posse
H
he would have been
wasn't
talking about?
there. I don't even know if Scott was there. Was Scott at fucking?
This is
who did
1993, right? 93. Scott was there.
No, this has been 92. 93 was fucking. I was there. That's 10. That's Madison Square Garden.
Scott fought Bob Backlund, I guess, on this show.
So the posse. You know who I'm talking about. No, I don't. Obviously, I fucking don't know who you're talking about. Don't fucking throw my fucking name out like I was doing some shit. And you know why? I don't know half this fucking shit? Because I wasn't fucking around. I don't know what the fucking two wise men said to the other motherfucker in the fucking the manger.
Well, that's why we bring it up, to sort through these things.
Hey man, you got any more? You got any more of that fucking? Any more of that fucking smoke?
Find some truth in this. All right, Florida man or Jersey guy. Okay, I'm going to give you two headlines. You're going to tell me which is describing the actions.
Oh, you know what? Somebody did tell me also that if you would have gave me that girl's last name, I would have got last week. So you got to give me full names this time.
Isn't that kind of too much information, right? Shouldn't you be gauging this on the activity? Is this the activity?
Not when they got a fucking name like fucking, it's about as Jersey Shore as you get.
Girelli or something like
yeah,
that.
Exactly.
Yeah, it was. I do. You know what? And it did cross my mind when I read the name. I'm like, thank God I didn't read the article first. Okay. Headline 1. Teens caught dumping murder victim in the woods after leaving their hazard lights on. And man steals neighbor's peacock, gets chased by angry birds.
Some little Sopranos fucking dug a hole in Jersey for number 1, and fucking it's too cold to have a peacock up in fucking Jersey, so that's got to be Florida.
He's right again.
I'm like fucking Columbo. Let me get this right. What are you saying there? Let me get this right.
Couple of kids leave their hazards on. You want me to expect it? 2 teenage brothers from Somerset, New Jersey, are charged with criminal homicide after cops stumbled on them trying to dump a dead body in the woods in Pennsylvania because they left their hazards on. Anthony Gamble and Joshua Gamble taken into custody Thursday morning after Pennsylvania state troopers pulled over to check on what they assumed was a disabled vehicle on the side of the road, and no, they were dumping a body. Let's see who they killed.
You don't even fucking leave your hazards on when you're taking a piss. What a fucking... Yeah.
The unidentified male appeared to have stab wounds about his head, neck, upper chest, and arm. And that brings us to the peacock story. Man steals neighbor's peacock, gets chased by angry birds. This is in Coconut Grove. The theft is caught on camera. Residents said that despite not liking the peacocks in their neighborhood, they are upset about the theft. They had become a nuisance, quote, but it's somebody invading. And that's not right, the neighbor said. Coconut Grove. A little bit of money down there.
Used to be.
All right.
They got flooding problems bad down there.
In the Grove?
Yeah. No, that whole there's pumps running all the time in those areas.
Our next partner product I do use every morning. I recently started taking AG1 by Athletic Greens. I did have a gut-related health issue, and I had to scale back on some stuff like red meat, fried foods, and I wanted to add to my diet also. Okay, so I had supplements. I've got bottles in my upstairs medicine cabinet, my downstairs medicine cabinet. Then Athletic Greens sent me AG1, and it showed me how easy it is to support immunity, give me what I was looking for in all those bottles that I was popping a bunch of pills and vitamin in capsule form. The taste is a home run, honestly. I mean, I've taken supplements before, and there's a great variant in taste. This is good. It's a mild, maybe a little tropical type flavor. I actually look forward to it when I take it in the morning. And you take 1 scoop of the AG1, and you're absorbing about 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food-sourced superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens to help you start your day right. This blend of nutrients supports your nervous system, your immune system, your energy, recovery, focus, and aging. And if you're like me, your gut health. Kevin, I know you've taken it. You're also on board with me. This is a good product. You know this stuff. Tastes good, too.
Yeah, I've actually seen a little bit of a change in my complexion.
Have you?
Yeah.
Have you been in what? In that it's clearing up?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, when I look at myself, maybe it's
could be.
I mean, yeah.
You look great from here. I'll tell you, if I could see through the fuzz on my face right now. Right now, it is time to reclaim your health and arm your immune system with a convenient daily nutrition. It is just 1 scoop and a cup of water every day. That's it. No need for a million different pills and supplements to look out for your health. It took me an emergency room visit to change my diet and find AG1, but it does not have to be as dramatic for you. Kevin has a special offer for you. To make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/Kliq. That's Kliq. Again, that is athleticgreens.com/Kliq. Kliq. To take ownership of your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. Thank you, AG1. You'll be able to take those vicious chops you were talking about before to the chest. Much better.
That's my favorite things of all time.
Now, I know you're a bouncer. We talked about this in prior weeks. In a scuffle, in a particularly tenuous situation in the doorway with someone who's getting let out of control, did anyone resort to the knife edge chop?
I think that our management just immediately outlawed that because it's that when you chop somebody, I mean that's right below using a handgun.
Right. The danger elements of it.
Yeah, it's just like firearm, knife edge chop.
In the ring, and we'll get to the Bunkhouse Stampede in a minute, but in the ring, the chop has been a part of professional wrestling, certainly as far as I watched it, and certainly before me, and even today. You watch wrestling, the contemporary product, you see the chop.
Yeah, Jericho and Daniels had that match that they had on AEW was like I lost. I've never understood. I just don't get it. I lost count.
Well, and the trading of the chop also, right?
Yeah, because it's why is it? I give you one, you sell it, you give me one. I like back like why isn't it like when you get somebody on the ropes and you throw a combo, like you throw a 7 chop combo. Is there such a thing? Has anybody ever done, you know? I used to like when the Dragon would Ricky the Steamboat, the Dragon would send him off, and he would like drop to one knee and do like a Steven Seagal ish like chop, almost like sometimes like a double, like come at the guy with this,
Would you sell that if you were in the ring and you got the Steamboat double chop? Are you going down? Are you buckling?
Depends on where. I mean, early in my career, and I'm a Jay Brown, and he's fucking Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. Yeah, if I don't sell it, I might as well. I'll be back at the bar, but not getting any. So I just think that it's just God. It's just I watched the other night. It was Gargano and Kurt Angle. Whatever the fuck that guy's name is.
Oh, the new Kurt Angle.
Yeah, the new Kurt Angle. Yeah, Chad Gable.
Yeah.
Gable. Yeah. But so Gable hit him with a flipper, and Gargano registered it. Then he chopped him and he took an ass bump into the corner. So obviously, this is what I have to say. I'm a 63-year-old. I'm tired.
You've been tired since 42.
I'm still fucking tired, even though I won a championship when I was 59. But I'm still tired.
Was that Detroit's own big time wrestling world heavyweight championship?
Well, it was that's what I grew up with big time wrestling. But it was Steve Perkins that runs basically out of the Northeast. So
it's here. Okay. I thought maybe they kept big time wrestling in Detroit as an homage to.
There's a picture. I actually have a picture of the night I won the belt. Their belt it's gorgeous. It's a gorgeous belt. And I always said I said that if I'm going to tell my story, people say, "What was your first match?" And I can say, "Well, my first match was live on Night of the Champions in Asheville, North Carolina." I said, we went over. And then the last match I ever had was I won the Big Time Wrestling, which was my childhood promotion. I won their championship belt at age 59.
Did you go over Furpo?
Huh?
Did you go over Furpo?
Furpo with a fucking Bobo Brazil run-in.
Did you finish it with a chop? What was the finisher?
No, I ducked the Wahoo chop, ducked the double kangaroo drop kick, and hit Flex Armstrong with a fucking power bomb.
But you were gonna say,
I was gonna say that. So here I am at 63 years old. So I'm gonna put out a challenge to anybody in the wrestling business that you can chop me. We'll do this we'll do a Kliq Live event, and this will be the main event of the night, and I'll take my shirt off, and you can chop me, and then in my rebuttal is I get to take my right elbow and hit you anywhere in your face I want to, anywhere in your head. I can put it in your temple. I can crush your orbital socket. I can bust your fucking mandible. I can pulverize your nose. I can do whatever I want to with it, because obviously what you're hitting me with when you make that decision to throw that chop is much more effective than something and especially even a flipper to the side of somebody's head, which doesn't leave a mark, which you could do as a work or shoot. But see, the chop does leave after time. But the thing is, hands will be inspected. There'll be no slipping a little fucking sliver of a blade.
Mm-hmm.
And let's just put it. I mean, I don't know. I'm a science-based guy.
If the chop goes first, you might not be able to return the blow.
As I'm saying, so that I'm giving that to them. Like, they get to chop me first, and everybody knows It's below the collar, below the collarbone, above the nipple is the chop zone.
Mm-hmm.
So none of this nipple chopping bullshit or trying to karate chop me in the fucking neck. No, that's not what you do on TV. So come on, let's see if we can get somebody to fucking just lay it in it, and I'll return. I'll lay my crusty old fucking 63-year-old body. I'll just, as tired as I am, I'll try to fucking muster something, and I'll take this bony elbow right here, and I'll stick this son of a bitch probably like right in here somewhere.
Is realism a consideration in wrestling any longer? I mean, everybody knows that it's predetermined now. Everybody knows that nobody really hates each other, and if they're doing it right, they should be taking care of each other. So is the realism of the moveset even a consideration anymore? Or is it just the spectacle of how loud that chop was, or how high he can get on that frog splash? Should we even be considering whether a chop would stop somebody in their tracks?
See, the frog splash to me is just like, I've taken a frog splash. Mm-hmm. I mean, if the guy doesn't take care of you, let Randy Savage drop that elbow off the top rope onto you. Mm-hmm. Because he used you to fucking break his fall. That motherfucker, like that. I mean, it was like fucking the bump Post Malone took the other night. Fucking, do you guys see anybody?
No,
see that?
What happened?
Oh fuck! I guess they didn't have the stage set up right, and he was on stage. He took a bump. He broke a couple ribs and put one of his ribs fucking through his lung.
His lung. Oh boy.
Yeah.
But I don't mean to imply that a frog splash couldn't hurt you if done wrong. But I'm saying is the spectacle of the move, does that trump the believability of it? Like the chop, a nice loud pop of a chop. Wow, did you hear that echo through the arena? Is that enough?
I mean, to me, it's like a chop is like when you used to like go to the hotel room and buy Spanktravision, and the girl would be giving a blowjob to the guy, but there'd be a plant in between her mouth and his cock. Oh. You know?
So they block the penetration?
Yeah, they didn't show. Or you go to Japan and they'd have a big black fucking block on the fucking broad's puss. You know? You'd be, oh, that's fucking great.
Let
me just go ahead and take one home and this motherfucker.
I'm going to say that this is the first time, and Meltzer, you could tell me if I'm wrong, that in the discussion of the chop and a moveset, if that comparison has ever been brought up before, I'm going to say this is the first. Spank Vision, the plant obstructing the penile penetration of the mouth, and then the block obstruction of the Japanese puss.
Yes.
I don't see why not. I mean, that's what we're here for, I guess, to give people a different perspective. But so
that's my perspective.
So when you were in the ring, okay, so you're working. You talked about when you were first starting out. Of course, you got to do what you've got to do when you're starting out, and you got to follow the rules. Now you're established. You're calling matches. You're working with younger guys. If something was soft, and we touched on this last week when we were talking about punches. If something's soft, you're obviously not going to sell it. And you're going to do what to communicate to your opponent that, like, don't fucking use the chop?
Cut him off. Well, see, Rick would chop me, but Rick would always follow it with a chop punch. So the chop could fucking give him a chance to fire his punch. But they're not doing that. It wasn't like we were in the middle of the ring exchanging chops. You know, there's a psychology to why it would work. Mm-hmm. Like you could turn in somebody, you could turn into it, you know, and somebody would chop you and it might be enough to just stagger you, especially if it's like you're in a cage match or something like that, and you guys you've already hit the cage. You're both in cell, not register mode, but cell mode. So anything is going to affect you because you're teetering on taking the bump anyway. So you can sell that, but he's got to follow it because I'm not going to chop him back. I would like to. I might have chopped once or twice in Japan. I'd love for somebody to find footage of me chopping somebody. If it wasn't a rib, if it's not me fucking doing it and looking at Scott and laughing, if it's not a fucking rib, because Scott would do Scott would chop people, but he'd do it because he would just blister the fuck out of you. He did it because.
But after an exchange, you're sent a ring. A chop is thrown. You receive it. You throw back a chop. There'd be no third, fourth, and fifth chop, right? Eventually, you'd knee to the gut.
Somebody's going
to forearm over the back of the head, right? I mean, the exchange of the no-soul chop.
The person is looking where he's going to put the next blow. So you look at his eyes, and his eyes are glaring at your chest as he makes this. Why wouldn't you just take your thumb and just boop? Here's a little something. Go sell that in your eye for a minute.
Right.
What
were some other notoriously, I'm just thinking here, some other notoriously unbelievable or non-believable moves in what we are supposed to accept is a fight? The suplex, maybe. The suplex? I don't think you'd be suplexing anyone at the bar, right?
No, because your ass would have to land on the fucking concrete.
Right. You might grab someone from behind and toss them out like a German suplex kind of thing, but certainly not the standing suplex. The standing suplex, when you remove yourself...
If you German suplex... Who was talking? I was watching somebody the other day, and they were talking about injuries in wrestling. It was one of the boys. I think it was on a podcast. I don't know who... But I remember him saying that they brought up the fact that nobody got hurt until the German, like people like nobody ever broke their neck when I first broke it. But then all of a sudden, man, that German suplex came in. Whew.
Oh, that's interesting. So that's done significantly more damage than
oh my god
than the other moves.
Right? I mean, it's just
pile driver.
Pile driver's another one that's
a rough one.
I mean, that almost paralyzed Steve.
Right. The key to keeping someone safe, pile driver, is what? Is the responsibility? The responsibility is on your end, right? You're holding.
Yeah, I've never given one.
Okay.
I've never given it. It's like I don't take backdrops. I don't give backdrops.
Right.
Because to me, it's almost like there's certain things you have to do in order to fucking have a pro wrestling match. Like running the ropes is one of them.
Mm-hmm.
But to blind somebody when they're on the ropes and then send them off, and then that person hits the other ropes and comes off blind, why you can just grab the other ropes.
Stop yourself.
Yeah, like you can grab the ropes at any time. It's like it's 20 feet. For me, it was like a step and a half. So it's like, I don't know.
What about the turnbuckle whip? That was always something where there had to be a little suspension of disbelief. I'm standing, 20 feet or 25 feet away. I grab your arm and push you, and it propels you at full speed into the turnbuckle.
That's Bret Hart could take a fucking turnbuckle.
Oh, yeah.
He could take that front turnbuckle.
Yes.
I mean, you could use that as a heat spot. Bret was so fucking, God. I mean, it used to amaze me how fucking hard he could take that fucking turnbuckle. And there's a lot of guys like that. Most guys had to always take it where they did the dive and you'd move out of the way and they'd go between the second and third and hit the post.
Mm-hmm.
but Brett could just fucking run straight into that motherfucker, and shit. It sounded like it sounded like it felt like the ring moved.
Yeah,
but man, it was so fucking loud.
Yeah. It was awesome. I
By
want to
far-
say he's the
by
only
far-
one I've
he-
seen
he-
take it like that.
He by far, and then that he'd always like that. He would sell it so great because it was like wham, and it was like he'd always like let the crowd register, like what had happened because it was loud,
Mhm.
and then he would just fucking make that face like, and then he would just crumble down. I mean, he was so. That's why I loved working with him, because he got it. Like he would. I remember one time he said to me, we were going over. He says, "Do you mind if I give you a backbreaker?" I said, "If you can give it to me."
Mm.
And he fucking picked my ass up and gave me a backbreaker. I didn't help him. You can't help somebody, you know.
Right.
Like his shit all. He'd give you a backbreaker. He'd do this, and he'd roll right into a fucking Russian leg sweep. You know, I mean, everything he had shit, man. Like Brett didn't shot me. Brett threw a good fucking punch.
He did throw a good punch, didn't he?
You know, fuck yeah. And then a lot of those fucking the Kliq used to call Brett's punch the rubber mallet. That motherfucker, man, it hit you like it didn't. You know, it wasn't a hammer, but it's a rubber mallet, man. It was when the fucking red light was on, man, Brett wasn't afraid to. And I mean, you watch me and Brett, I'm waffling Brett as hard as I can hit him in the back, and he's fucking waffling. It's just, I don't know, man.
But okay, so Brett would certainly take that turnbuckle perfectly.
Yeah.
The excellence of execution, right? At perfect, great speed. But he was whipped in by Rene Goulet. Right. So this is the part I'm talking about is the move itself. We suspend disbelief, right? But if you remove that and you look at some things, you go, wait a minute. Our discussion starts with a chop, and I think the whip into the turn, unless it's Big Show or you or Andre,
but I think
throwing Brett into the corner.
And that's the psychology of it. You know,
should be.
I would always tell people all the time. You know, I was like a boss in a video game, so I had, like my lifeline was like this. So you had to whittle me down. Where if I fucking caught you with a flipper, then caught you with a shot behind the head, then caught you with another flipper, and you were 220 pounds, you flat back.
Mm-hmm.
Like you were in trouble, you know?
Right.
Whereas, and see, that's, I think Brett worked the same way. Brett wouldn't take that turnbuckle. Brett would take a normal turnbuckle. He wouldn't take that front one. He'd take a normal back turnbuckle against somebody his size. And then as the person came in to do something, Brett would get a leg up or get a foot up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so
Right.
it was like, you know, and that's the whole thing. The psychology of the business is dictated by who your opponent is. You know, it was our match was so simple because, you know, and I think one of the things that I watched, Bobby Lashley was fighting, what the fuck was it? He was fighting Seth. So he's fighting Seth Rollins. And the commentators, what's Lashley's nickname? The Almighty.
Mighty? But yeah.
No, the Almighty. So it's like, could you imagine a fucking boxing match? And every time Frazier was to hit Ali, they'd say, and the Almighty Joe Frazier. And then it's on a return by Seth frickin' Rollins. It's just like they go back and forth with this shit. And I'm like, can we just make like, I don't give a fuck if you love Jim Ross, hate Jim Ross. I want Jim Ross to call my fucking shit because Jim Ross calls a match like a sporting event. You know,
right. I mean, that's
it makes
credibility.
Absolutely. He calls it like a sporting event. It's like, motherfucking, if you call him almighty one more time, then I think maybe I'm so fucking old that I don't fucking, maybe I need to read some sheet or something, because is this a drinking game? Every time they say Seth frickin' Rollins, I'm supposed to take a shot. Then every time fucking they say Almighty, I'm supposed to take a shot? Or a fucking, I don't know, a rail of fucking crank?
But this is a commentary on the times, though, Kev, and 100% what you said about JR. But is this of another time? Are we dinosaurs here for sitting and saying it should be called like a sporting competition?
No. Why is it when the business is at its highest, there's more, why is it that it's the realist? Why is it when the business is, when we hold off guys with baseball bats and it's the NWO and people are like, oh fuck, I've never seen that before. Why is that? Because that's what you would do. You wouldn't fight 6 guys. You'd come to the ring with a fucking with baseball bats.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's like, I think that's what hurts it. When somebody comes down with a lunch pail and they say he's the youngest guy ever to walk to the fucking ring with a lunch pail, I just don't see how it's
lunch pail.
I just don't see how it's money.
Sandwich in the bank.
Yeah, it's like now he opens that motherfucker up and there's a 17-inch double fucking dong dildo in that motherfucker.
Throw that right on the field
and
at the Bills game.
And it's been on a Bills, and they make reference to the fact, I think I've seen that same dildo in a Bills game, that he fucking comes in and clubs you across the back with a fucking dildo. That motherfucker wraps around, hits you in your fucking Adam's apple. 1, 2, 3.
Finisher.
Fuck yeah. I think that's 5-star.
Absolutely.
Even though Angle, Cena, and I forget the other guy never had one.
Listen, science tells us the best way to achieve and maintain consistent deep sleep is not by getting hit with a dildo. It's by lowering your core body temperature. Temperature-controlled sleep repairs muscles after a hard day's work and improves cognitive function so you can always start your day feeling sharp and alert. I've woken up in all kinds of places. I'm a notoriously terrible sleeper. I'm on the floor. I'm the other way in the bed. And listen, now Sleep Me has come into my life and yours, Kevin.
Yes.
And we want it to come into your life as a listener of this show. Kevin and I have both used this product, not together, though if that feeds your shower fantasies and keeps you in there an extra 5 minutes, enjoy. Sleep Me is the new home for Chili Sleep. We are bringing you the same great sleep that Chili Sleep offered, just under a new name, Sleep Me. Sleep Me makes the coldest and most comfortable sleep systems available. They create the environment that meets the body's natural need for lower core body temperatures, promoting deeper, restorative sleep. Chili Sleep makes the Uller, Cube, and Doc Pro sleep systems water-based, temperature-controlled mattress toppers that fit over your existing mattress and provide your ideal sleep temperature. My wife has even raised it on hers. You can get separate ones for the king bed, one on my side, one on her side. Control them independently. She's made it warmer. She's always cold. These mattress pads keep your bed the perfect temperature for deep, cold sleep. The sleep systems are designed to help you fall asleep, stay asleep, and give you the confidence and energy to power through your day. They also just launched the new Doc Pro sleep system. It has 2 times more cold power than the other models. It's whisper quiet, has a tubeless mattress pad design that allows for 5 times more cooling contact. Pair it with the new Sleep.me app for enhanced device control and sleep scheduling. Here's what I want you to do. Go to sleep.me/Kevin, and Kevin's going to arrange for you to get 25% off the purchase of any new Doc Pro, Cube, or Uller sleep system. This offer is available exclusively for Kliq This, the Kevin Nash podcast listeners, and only for a limited time. That's sleep, SLEEP.me, me/Kevin, and take advantage of his exclusive discount. Wake up refreshed every day.
The most important thing in your life is sleep.
And I was never able to achieve.
and this is just like like another layer to to get, like, even if it's an extra 45 minutes of recovery. I mean, it's just it's priceless, and we're giving 25% off on top of that. But it's just,
Yeah.
I was, as you were saying that, like I run hot anyway, so I'm always, I got my fan going, and if the air's on 68,
Mm-hmm.
I mean that's winter, and the but in some of the Czechoslovakian coastal cities, I'm sure the starting to get a little bit of the leaves are changing around the lakes, and
It's getting cool.
yeah, that'd be a nice. I'm sure they ship worldwide. They
Mm-hmm.
could send that sleep system. They could go ahead and man, it doesn't take you much to Google Celsius to Fahrenheit. Come on, guys.
Yep,
So
you could do the conversion. I'm sure
yeah,
the app may even do it for you.
that
Sleep.me.
might.
The I was going to ask you about a
I put it on
move.
6. I put it on like 63 the other night.
That's why I had 64 actually the first night,
And that
I
was
did 63.
63 was I found that I sleep nude because I can.
Good
No,
for you.
I have to sleep nude. I can't have my shit fucking packed up in me. I'm not
even like a. Yeah, there's a little. You don't deal with like a crushage in the bed when you sleep like that, huh? I need drawers on.
Oh, fuck no, man. I
Yeah.
got to be naked.
Well, good for you. So
I mean, if anything, if it's someplace like you go to a hotel and it's like there's two things that drive me crazy about hotels. It's the 69 degrees is fucking polar, but 70 is furnace. Like there's no in between. So all night long you're getting up and it's like you're freezing. So then you go to sleeping with a t-shirt on, still naked from the waist down, but because it's got the sheet on you, but you got your upper body is getting polarized by this fucking shitty air conditioning system. And then this, my second pet peeve is you get up in the morning to take a shower, and all these hotels now have went to the glass barn door showers. That's with the subway tiles. And then they've got this thermostat on the wall with one of those range showers that can't get shampoo. If I would had my fucking big sexy hair, it would have took me an hour to get my shampoo out of my fucking hair. So I'm in there. Every one of these fucking hotels, you're like a safe cracker. You're like 16th of an inch, you're fucking scalding. 16th of an inch the other way, you're fucking freezing.
right.
And it's just like, are you what the are you kidding me?
Have you stayed in these places that I think they call them? It's a certain style of studio style or whatever, where you just walk around a half wall, and there's the fucking shower, the glass door. You got the proper room with the beds and all that stuff. And it's separated by like a half wall, and you go around it, and it's an open bathroom. I'm not a fan of this. I was in Atlanta. I'm forgetting the name of the chain.
So
But
is it a loft?
Maybe it was. Yeah, I think it might have been. And if you're staying with people, you walk around and you get the brajola's out. It's right there. It's unbelievable. I'm not a fan of this style. I'm a traditionalist. I need a fucking door in the bathroom.
See, what kills me is I'll watch these house shows, and these people be buying a house, and they've been married for, like where they're empty nesters. Their kids are gone, and like they're walking to the master, and the shitter's in its own room, but they don't like the fact that you can walk from the master, from the main bedroom into the shower area. Like what?
Really?
You got a bedroom door that shuts. So when you and your wife or whoever you live with are in the same room, but like what you don't see each other naked. Like you're opposed to walking over and brushing your teeth with your wife in the shower.
Yeah. Okay. That's weird.
That's kind of fucked. But I see it all the time. And then I often wonder, like, are these like just fake fucking people that they've got?
Well, the toilet behind the door is a great idea. I mean, that's fine. But the shower separation.
Yeah, good. Yeah, good luck fucking waking up with a fucking with wood and fucking whacking one off in the middle of the fucking room with no shit door.
Fan questions, #Ask Nash. We promise you access to your favorite professional wrestler turned podcaster, and you have it. Michael Campbell, with all the royalty talk in the last episode, do you get anything from NBC with WWE Network stuff being shown on Peacock?
No.
So, of the royalties of which we speak related to Diesel and NWO, television is not part of it?
No.
Okay.
And like Screen Actors Guild, we went back and forth over, like we get hosed on Netflix and all that shit.
What's on? Oh, you mean for film, for movies?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, when DVDs ended, such a huge revenue stream died.
Oh,
unbelievable. Although we've made some small gains in the last few contracts with streaming. It's got to keep going, though. Levon Ponhorst, how was your experience working with Lisa Wolfe when you were WWF champion? Bruce Pritchard shit all over her on his pod years ago, so I was wondering if you had similar negative experiences. Well, Levon, you obviously haven't seen some of the great...
Levon, last money. This was her problem. Is she had worked?
Who was she? Take us back in. She was what position was this? She was the what?
Stupid bitch.
That was on her business card, right on the wall.
I don't know what her job was. I don't know if she was talent relations. I don't know what the fuck her job was.
She was a WWE employee.
Yeah.
Okay.
She came from the NFL. And so at that time I was the champion. So she contacted my wife and she said, NFL teams, like the quarterback's wife usually is in charge of like running the things with the players' wives on the team. And my wife said, yeah, but during the season, they're all in the same fucking city.
What did she want your wife to do?
She wanted like her to be in charge of the other wives, like for functions and shit. Bitch didn't even know we didn't. I said, it's not Ringling Brother, and we're for our families in a tent with us or some shit. Like she was that fucking stupid. I told Vince like immediately, like, dude, you got to think this fucking bitch don't have a clue. I always used to love those fuckers that would come through the business, and they were always like, oh, this guy's got circus background. Oh, great, because I see a bunch of Siberian tigers, clowns, and fucking giraffes, and like, boy, that's his shit's gonna fit right in with us. Can he write a script? Oh, he can't write a script, then there's no place for him here.
They would often tout. That was one of the things I remembered seeing Vince on TV, and when they would reference one of the employees for the company, like the guy that was in charge of the drug testing, like when he was on Larry King, he's like, yeah, that's Dr. So-and-so, formerly of the NHL and the NBA, and now with us. That became what was once something you never wanted, which was outsiders in a wrestling locker room. Now that legitimized them in some way to say that Ms. Wolfe was from the NFL. Did she also? So she arranged like the wives, the quarterback's wives club like in Cincinnati Bengals, perhaps? Or
I don't know. My wife just I called my wife that night when I was like, you don't only speak to your wife, like in the morning than at night because you didn't have a fucking cell phone.
Right.
So you had to go, like if you had layover in LaGuardia or some other place, and you'd go over wait in line at a payphone, and punch your AT&T calling card number in, and pray to God that your wife wasn't out shopping or, in the backyard by the pool or doing something else because, the home, just left a message.
Yeah.
Hi, honey. I'm in Kansas City. Just trying to get a hold of you. Lisa Wolfe's a stupid cunt.
All right. So she told you on the phone that she was contacted and told that she'd be organizing the women's auxiliary.
Yeah. And I hate to use the hard C, but man, she was.
That's a glorious
she
word.
Took his. She took his. You know what? I'm a huge Sarah Silverman fucking fan, and she says when she sees her sister, they say like, "Hey, cunt, what up, cunt?" She's my girl, man. I love her. I just love her.
You know what she did to get out of jury duty? I don't know if I could say this word, but I'm going to be quoting Sarah Silverman, so I'm okay, I guess. She filled out her card and wrote on the bottom, "I love chinks," and sent it back. She wasn't cold. Joe Blow, with several wrestlers like Nash having basketball backgrounds, Taker, Kane, Big Show, all playing college ball. Were there ever any pickup games before shows? If so, who usually played, who had game, and who sucked?
The only time I can ever remember was before the first King of the Ring. I've already told the story. I've actually told it on this show. And I picked my first pick was Virgil because he was the black dude,
and that was the worst pick you could have made, right?
I didn't look at his resume where he was the last guy picked in gym class, but no man, fucking once that grind started. Hey, what do you want to do? We got an hour and a half before we got to go bounce around the ring. You guys want to
go play some ball?
Yeah, go tussle under the boards for a while.
Post up on Yoko.
Just so happened I fucking brought an extra pair of fucking Jordans to size 15s to throw in my bag so I could, in case we found someplace we could hoop, like a YMCA on the way to Evansville, we could get out and get a fucking quick game. Fuck no.
Did you ever ride with any of those guys? Taker, Kane, Big Show?
Show?
You did?
Yeah, me and Show, I traveled a ton with Paul. Paul's a good fucking guy, man.
Jesus Christ, the two of you in a fucking car. What would you get? A fucking
town car,
85
Cadillac.
Olds? Yeah,
I would drive. Show would devour the front seat and the seat behind it, and Scott would bitch because I was all fucking jacked. The best thing of all time was Scott would always do this. Dallas would sit up front. And I'd drive and Dallas would sit up front. And fucking Scott would be behind Dallas, and Dallas would have that fucking seat back like he was Andre. And Scott would be, of course, Dallas Page, the world's most gigantic 6'5" man. Like, fucking put your seat up, motherfucker. We're driving 250 miles.
Yeah, but when you had Show in there with you, would Scott ride in the back?
He'd have to.
Would you have to lay he'd have to lay vertically on the seats?
He would just he'd do the Eeyore. I mean, fuck. I mean, it was just like the whole trip. And on top of that, man, once Scott pissed, fucking it was every 20 minutes. I gotta piss again. I'd be, oh fuck, I missed that exit. I couldn't get over it. Come on, motherfucker.
Yeah, it's true. You guys had beer in the car, right?
So man. And then you get off, you got 3 or 4 guys and you get off fucking sync. And then finally you become such good friends and everybody knows how horrible it is to hold your piss. It's like You say you got to piss, you just fucking stop. If it's on the Garden State, you just stop at the toll booth and let the guy out. Piss. Remember with the old days when Garden State Parkway was like every mile was 40 cents?
The bucket, you'd have to throw the
Jesus.
change in.
It was like every mile and a half. Like
Yeah.
when we used to drive from Newark to Poughkeepsie, we'd drive that shit fucking Garden State and throw fucking money in it. Same thing, have to stop at the Verrazano Bridge, stop here. I was like, ugh.
This is impossible area to navigate. I don't know how you guys fucking did it all the time.
We used to call Finkel. We'd fucking stop and Finkel would give us directions. It'd always be, take the Thongs Neck Bridge to the fucking so-and-so bridge to this bridge to the... I'd be like, what the... You're writing it down. You're like, how do you spell that? He'd always get us there, man. Fucking Fink, man, was the man.
Yeah. Something else that'll help you get where you're going is having the peace of mind of having Carshield. Also, I don't know if you're aware of that, but it makes it easy and affordable to protect your car from expensive repairs. That's just for starters. Carshield is the #1 auto protection company in the U.S. and offers protection plans for about $100 a month. Just so, who did I see on television touting Carshield? I saw Nash in a commercial with, help me out, who's in the commercial?
Ice-T.
Ice-T, that's who it was. Might have been another athlete in there, too, if I'm not mistaken. The plans cover more parts now than ever, whether your car has 5,000 miles or 150,000 miles. Let me tell you how simple it is to get your car fixed. When you need a repair, you choose the mechanic. That's it. Carshield's administrators handle the rest. You don't have to deal with paperwork or headaches. You are taken care of. Same goes if your car breaks down, you're stuck on the side of the road. Plans through Carshield also include coast-to-coast roadside assistance. Carshield administrators are there for you with rental car options and trip reimbursement at no extra cost. Get coverage today. You lock in your price now, and it will never go up. That means as long as you own your car, no matter how old it is, you're protected from the rising costs of parts and repairs for your vehicle. Carshield helps you protect your wallet from expensive repairs. Go to carshield.com/podcast to start your plan and lock in your pricing forever. That's carshield.com/podcast. A deductible may apply. All right, let's see who else has reached out for us. David Van Boggelen. What are your thoughts on PJ Polacco, a.k.a. Just Incredible? Seems like it depends who you ask. If PJ was a member of the Kliq, was he Kliq, and do you stay in touch with him today?
He was one of our. I mean, there was like guys that were like honorary like Kliqsters. But he wasn't, he wasn't like sworn in.
But he was one of those guys like, who else? You mentioned somebody the other week, like, could have been.
Rad.
And Louis. Didn't you mention Louis too?
Rad.
Yeah, it was Spicoli, right, because
yeah.
he was Spicoli, right.
Jarrett, I mean, Jarrett was, anytime there was room for Jarrett was with us.
Mm-hmm. Did Jarrett walk around saying Tatanka had a bad attitude, maybe? Maybe it was him. That was part of the posse.
You know what? Now that you think, I think he sent me a fucking a smoke signal from fucking Memphis, and
where he was at the time,
where Tatanka would actually be able to read the smoke signal, whereas I would not. So I was probably not privy to it. But Tatanka, seeing the smoke signal come from Memphis, knew that he was, of course, probably part of the posse.
Matthew Reed.
Who the fuck uses the word posse? I mean, every time I hear the word posse, I think about Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, and they're like, who are these guys that are following him in that movie? Like, I can't get rid of it. Who are these guys?
The posse.
Yeah, the posse.
Matthew Reed. Hey, guys, great show. Awesome job. Haven't missed an episode. Question.
Thank you.
Is Big Kev an Orson Wells fan? And if so, Citizen Kane or The Third Man?
War of the Worlds.
Oh, the radio broadcast.
Brilliance.
A work. A work that came across as a shoot.
And the thing is, not one chop was thrown during the broadcast.
Aliens were chopping furiously. Got to go with Citizen Kane, right? I mean, it kind of changed film.
You know what? I've probably seen it 3 or 4 times in my life. It's like A Wonderful Life. It's just one of those things where I just go,
Yeah, but for the time period, remember what film was, how sanitized and optimistic and everything it was. And here came this dark portrayal of excess and depressing. And also the technique, too, if we can be a little geeky, with the Detroit, deep focus photography. And
in Detroit, we called that Monday. Have a round pizza, motherfuckers.
Cash Money says, 11 soft. Question. You're in jail and have only one phone call, but you can only call Vince McMahon or Eric Bischoff. Who do you choose?
What am I in there for? Fucking Vince has got deeper pockets. If I need fucking, if I need protection, I'm going to go with whoever's got the.
They both would have fronted the bail money, right?
No, I'm in prison, right?
You're in jail. You have one phone call.
I'm in jail.
Yeah. Who do you want on your side? Vince did pretty good showing up down in Pennsylvania for Jimmy Snuka in 1983. One visit to the police station made a lot of shit go away. Allegedly.
I would either one. I mean, I worked for them, they were both stand-up guys. So.
David Upchurch. My brother is in the ICU due to complications from brain surgery. He's been a Nash fan since '94. If you and Sean could give him a get well soon Scott Upchurch. He listens to the show at premiere, so it would make his day and mean a lot to him. Thank you, guys. I think we're capable of that. Any of our fans that are in need, Scott Upchurch. Sure. We want you to
get well, Scott.
Yeah, keep pulling through. We need you. We need all of our listeners, all of you.
Anybody that's a diehard, we definitely need you.
I feel at the 2-hour mark here, like I've taken chops for about 45 seconds, 45-second flurry of chops to the chest. How about yourself?
I feel like I've taken chops across the Uniondale Coliseum
in front of 6,000 bloodthirsty fans who showed up an hour and a half late for your match.
They didn't see it, but fucking, I mean, that's, yeah. I did win the North American Heritage Western Roundabout Rodeo All Hands on Deck Bull Riding Classic strap that night.
The title, the Western States Heritage title, was defended in Long Island, New York. And you can't get any further east without getting wet from Long Island, New York, by the way. Brilliant booking all around. But we should tell everyone that Kliq This is a production of Butch and Sundance Media. Produced in association with Podcast Heat, producer Steve Kaufman, graphics, Dominic D'Angelo, title sequence, and audio edit by Wesley Burleson. Theme song by Dale Oliver, technical research by Tristan Nash. Copyright 2022, Butch and Sundance Media. Tristan, I had people writing on, they posted they wanted to see you. They hear you, they enjoy your laughter. Come on screen for a minute here. Run around, push that big jabroni out of the frame for a minute and take a bow. Tristan helps us with our technical issues, and Christ, Kevin has a lot of them.
How's it going, guys?
And the music episode, believe me, Tristan was more than a little helpful to me anyway. I guess Kev's gonna put over that he knew everybody was talking. Okay.
No.
Yeah. So these are our people. These are people that make it happen. Dominic, Steve, Wesley. It's one big, happy, dysfunctional family, motherfucker. Hey, Kev, listen, what do you say next week we do another one?
Okay. But you know what? Only if we don't talk anything about fucking pizza.
A pizzaless episode?
Pizza? No more pizza. We can't talk about the fucking pizza or the
Czechoslovakia.
classified documents or Detroit pizza.
Some things have to be put to rest, right? That storyline's over. The blow-off happened.
It's done.
Done.
And I mean, we'll get to the bunkhouse, but those other two are.
Maybe B. Arthur running. It's been a few weeks.
Somebody just bashed B. Arthur the other day. I saw it was kind of funny.
What?
Something they brought up. It was like while she was alive. Oh, it was a roast. She was at a roast, and there was that fuck. I forget who the guy is, but he's like the guy. I know him by. I'll find out who it is. But anyway, yeah.
Jeff Ross.
Yeah, it was Ross. See, that's why my son's here, because he fucking watches podcasts, roasts. He's like his dad. He's a plethora of fucking useless knowledge.
All right, Kevin said we're doing another one next week, so I guess I have to show up too. See you then.
Good luck. That fucking internet fixed.